Let me just get my audio situated. What is popping, y'all? What is popping, everybody? Let me get my audio situated here before we get started. Looks like we got some shit to talk about today. We got some shit to talk about today, you guys. Let me just enjoy this good kush for a second. Let me enjoy this good kush, see what's popping with everybody. Y'all tap into this. What is good? What is up, Peasy? What is up? Can't have that shit in the background. Can't have that shit in the background. What is going on, y'all? We are going to talk about the Diamond Record Talk, you guys. Selling 10 million albums, you guys. 10 million albums, 10 million singles, however you want to break it down. However you want to break it down. What is good? What's popping? Appreciate y'all tapping in. I'm gonna smoke some kush while some people log in. Actually, I'm smoking some runts. Oh, that's gone right there. But I got some more over here. Oh shit. Looking like a good Friday night. Looking like a good Friday night, y'all. Looking like a good Friday night. We got some shit to talk about tonight. We've got some shit to talk about tonight, you guys. Or today, I should say. Let me make sure my shit's plugged in for the live video so I don't lose any of my power. I don't want to lose any of my power. Y'all ready to hear it? Y'all ready to hear me? Y'all ready to hear me talk about it? Y'all ready for me to open up about all of the issues? Y'all ready for me to open up about all the issues that I ran into while working with Bang'em Smurf? All the issues where people ask me, Mikey T, how do you work with Bang'em Smurf and then you go to the G Unit offices? What up, Craig? Appreciate you for tapping in. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Just know, you guys, I am going to be addressing things like this. I'm going to be addressing everything that has happened in my career, from standoffs, from predicaments that you guys have seen me in on the internet, to people that I've worked with that you may or may not know about. I'm going to be addressing everything that has been going on in my career since I got started, everything from behind the scenes that you guys haven't actually got an opportunity to witness, y'all. Of course, we're still going to be talking about all the key hip hop news. Soulja Boy's going off on Adam 22, Vlad, Say Cheese, Little Reese arrested again. French Montana says he's the only artist to sell 10 million records from the Bronx, New York, a statement that he's had to clarify. We're always going to be talking about all the most up-to-date news on the channel, you guys. I'm always going to do that. But also, I want to start giving you my stories. I want to start talking about the stories of my issues with Maserati Fox. I want to talk about the issues of when I ran into this guy and that guy and all the different things, when I got cut out of this album and that album, different meetings that I took in the industry. What up, Fiendy? What up, y'all? I just wanted to come on here and let everybody know in the future, I'm going to be addressing everything that has happened in my career behind the scenes. We've got a lot going on this year. We've had a big 2022. It's only going to get bigger into 2023. I'm talking podcasts. I'm talking new guests. I'm talking innovative new blogs for everybody to watch and tap in with. And we're going to be talking about the controversy, man. We're going to be telling hip-hop stories, but we're also going to keep on talking about the controversy. Y'all don't need to worry about that. Just like what everybody has been saying about me and G Unit. Mikey T, the movie star, is a G Unit hater. Mikey T is a G Unit hater. That's what they say. What is good, Vamp? What is up, Findy? What up, Craig? What up, everybody tapping in here, man? I'm smoking a little runts. But I just wanted to give y'all a little bit of a rundown. I wanted to give everybody a little bit of a rundown of what you can expect on the channel, what you guys can expect on the channel in the future. It's always going to be the news. You're always going to get the news. You're going to get my interviews, but also you can expect to hear my stories, you guys. A lot of people say Mikey T, the movie star, is known for hating on G Unit. They say that I'm known for hating on G Unit. I bet you wouldn't know that I actually am one of the people that purchased Tony Yayo's album in 2005. I'm one of the people that was listening to Power of the Dollar before Get Rich or Die Trying dropped. Before everybody was wondering, oh, what's 50 going to do? What's 50 going to do to get popping? What's 50 going to do when he gets popping? He had such gutter music back in the day. You would have never thought Power of the Dollar 50 Cent would go on to record Candy Shop. Now, don't get me wrong. 50 had records like Thug Love with Beyonce. 50 had records like Material Girl. Hell, he had all types of other records as well where he was showcasing his ability to sing. In reality, let's post it. Let's do a poll. We're doing a poll right now, you guys. Let's put this poll up. I want everybody to vote in the poll. Everybody vote in the poll right now. Who is a better singer? Because people want to go at 50 Cent. People want to go at 50 Cent. saying he stole Ja Rule's style, when in reality, 50 was rapping on his records and singing on his records when Ja Rule was trying to still put up the front of Veni Vidi Vici. Okay, here we go. Gucci, we got that up. Okay, all right. Drink Champs does the best Gilly interview. All right. General 5 says, but when it comes to me, I'm very biased. When it comes to me, I'm the biggest 50 fan in the world. And that's why I want to do this video today, man. General 5 says, yeah, I don't think you're a hater, Mikey T. That's why I want to do this video today. You know what I mean? And I might do another more indescript video of this just because I'm going to start sharing a lot of my stories in the industry. I am a fan of G Unit. I was a fan of Murder Inc. Am I not allowed to be a fan of what Irv Gotti and Murder Inc. was doing while still being a fan of what 50 Cent put together, you guys? This is what I'm going to ask all of you watching. Am I not allowed to be a fan of 50 and how he puts out the G Unit Collective? And you see Lloyd Banks get the attention he deserves. You see Young Buck come up from the South and get all that shine. And then you see Tony Yayo. You see Yayo, who gets locked up, took that bid for G Unit 02 when they got caught. The cops surrounded the car or some shit. Yayo took possession of everything. He had already been out on the run. Who wouldn't? If you weren't a fan, if you didn't follow, how would you not know that story? So then we go back to me looking at a Ja Rule album, and you look at the album, and you look at a Murder Inc. album, and you see Black Child, new album coming soon. Cadillac Todd, new album coming soon. Vita, new album coming soon. How do you expect me not to buy into those projects that are coming out? I'm not going to be someone that just chooses one thing and only listens to one thing. And that's the perspective of a fan. You know, I'm not even yet talking about the perspective of a blogger. I'm talking about the perspective of a fan. Why are you going to X yourself out? Oh, I heard DMX battled Jay-Z. I ain't listening to no more Jay-Z. You know what I mean? Why are you going to X out something that you can be a fan of? Irv Gotti obviously had things within his label that 50 didn't end up having within G Unit. The production, the sound production that Irv Gotti brought to the table. You know what I'm saying? That sound production was one of the big reasons that artists wanted to mess with Irv Gotti back in the day. You know, 50 didn't really have the G Unit production. You would have thought back in the day, all right, I see Dr. Dre. Everybody share this video, y'all. We're clearing up all the bullshit, but don't get it twisted. We're still talking about the news. We're clearing up all the bullshit, though, for anybody out there who's just going to think I'm a G Unit hater, for anybody out there that's going to think I'm a Murder Inc. hater or a SBG D rider. You know what I'm saying? For people that want to ask, oh, Mikey T, why do you interview Bangum Smurf and then take an opportunity to go interview Kid at the G Unit offices? What person in their right mind? What person in their right mind wouldn't take that opportunity to go up to the G Unit offices and actually interview Kid? Kid actually called Tony Yayo after that interview and said, yo, you should do an interview with Mikey T, the movie star. That's the type of love that Kid showed me there. Now, let me tell you what happened when I locked in with Dice. When I locked in with, he put me up with Domination. Domination put me up with Bangum Smurf. Bangum Smurf put me up to a certain extent with Rick Ross and all them. You know what I'm saying? Just because you work with one person, it's not like you're going to stop totally showing love to somebody else. You interview, if you interview Lil Wayne, if you have a relationship with Lil Wayne, you interview Lil Wayne once, twice. Are you telling me you're not going to go do an interview with Young Thug just because? I mean, you might mess up your whole relationship with Lil Wayne. If you're actually really doing interviews with Lil Wayne, if you're like his Mac Main, You know what I'm saying? Then you're going to want to pull back. 100% you're going to want to pull back, you guys. But if you're somebody out there in the field doing mad interviews, you're going to interview Lil Wayne. You're going to interview Young Thug. You're going to interview Gilly the Kid. You're going to interview Rich Homie Quan. Just because Rich Homie Quan isn't cool with Young Thug, just because Rich Homie Quan didn't believe that Young Thug was going to be the phenomenon that he had become, what are you going to do? You're going to hold yourself up from making that history? You know, a lot of people say, oh, Mikey T, you hate on 50 Cent because you went out to Trinidad. I paid for my own ticket to Trinidad. I bought a new video camera when I went out to Trinidad. And I said, hey, Mikey T, we're going to go out to Trini and we're going to do some work that the world will never forget. I had the opportunity to actually link up with Fredro Starr when I was in Trinidad. Spent a whole lot of time with Fredro Starr. Fredro Starr took a piece of paper, read a piece of paper, 3 pages of paper, all my interview questions. He said, this is a good interview. This is a really good interview. So you're telling me, and let me tell y'all, in that interview, there was no bullshit questions about Fredro. Did you guys really stomp out Tony Yayo? Fredro, was 50 Cent the guy that ran errands for you back in the day? You know what I'm saying? I don't go and try to make other artists look down on. I would never go into an interview and try to make another artist get looked down on like that. What did I do in Trinidad? There was a incident going on with Bang'em Smurf and 50 Cent. It was G Unit versus MMG. We was rocking with MMG back then. 50 Cent had a video where he said Ja Rule's money was only going to pay for the flowers at his wake. Bang'em Smurf and myself, we flipped that. We flipped that and repeated what 50 Cent said, vice versa. Now, at 50's point in his career, 50's got the bread to take care of all that shit. So, in relation to that, vote in the poll. Vote in the poll, you guys. I want to know, everybody vote in the poll right now. What do you guys think? Who was a better singer, 50 Cent or Ja Rule? In reality, when Ja Rule was still playing Vini Vidi Vici, you guys, 50 Cent was already singing. 50 Cent was already singing. Are you kidding me? 50 Cent was singing on songs where he was rapping about selling anything, whatever you want to say. He was out there flipping. 50 was singing about it. So for people to come in, a lot of people out there just did not see 50 Cent's material. That's why you never saw a video of Mikey T, the movie star, hating. You never saw a video of me hating. Somebody bring it up, a video of me hating, saying that 50 Cent stole Ja Rule's style. It's simply not accurate. Even if you look at the love songs that they both put out. Exactly, Ra. He sung on Ghetto Quran. He sang on Ghetto Quran, you guys. Like, let's be real about this. Let's be 100% real about this. There's other bloggers out there who say, oh, 50 Cent done stole their style. There's other bloggers out there who weren't even alive to purchase your album, Tony Yayo. All these other bloggers, they were not of age, or they were too old, or they were locked up in jail. And nothing against anyone that was locked up, unable to purchase an album like we all were back in the heyday of buying albums. But none of these other bloggers purchased Beg for Mercy. Everyone got Get Rich, but they all didn't come back and get Beg for Mercy. I did. They didn't come back in July and get The Hunger for More. What's up, Lloyd Banks? Yeah, that's right. I tell the stories about your career, Lloyd Banks, because I bought the albums to do that. I spent my money, sacrificed the opportunity to get juice and drinks and food to buy the Hunger for More album in 2004. When I'm like, how old am I in 2004? You know what I mean? I'm like, what, 13, 14 years old? Better shit I could be spending my money on, but I got your back, Lloyd Banks. But I'm a hater, right? I'm a hater, though. I'm a hater because not but 2 months later, I buy Straight Outta Cashville. But I'm a hater. I'm a hater because I know all the features on Lloyd Banks' album. All the other bloggers don't know all the features. They don't know about Nate Dogg being on there, Snoop Dogg being on there. You know what I'm saying? They don't know. They know 50's on there. No, they know M's on there. You know what I mean? They don't know Games on When the Chips Are Down. You know what I'm saying? They don't know the story about how they held up the Hunger for More album so Tony Yayo could get out of jail and be on the third verse of the first song. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. My clique eats like the 12 holy apostles. What other blogger still remembers that? And for Yayo to think, for Banks to think, I don't give a Buck can think whatever he wants to think. But for any of these guys to be thinking I'm hating, I'm a fan of the music. Somebody's a fan of Big L. Somebody's a fan of Mace. Yeah, the two artists are different. One's about the glamour and glitz, and one didn't give a shit if he got rich. You know what I'm saying? He didn't care about the fame and the rich, and the other cared about it all too much. Does that mean we're not going to like, you're going to... No, they both put out pretty cool music. Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said. Lloyd Banks held up his album so Tony Yayo could get home and be on his album. He held up his album so Tony Yayo could come home and be on his album on the first track, for crying out loud. After that, we get Straight Outta Cashville, Young Buck. Tony Yayo's on that one as well. Actually, he was in a music video. They were in a music video. Young Buck did a duet music video for that joint right there. Okay. Let's get this dude out of here. Mikey, MMG or G Unit? MMG or G Unit? Good question. You know what I mean? 50 gave all of his guys on G Unit a run. They all got their first round run, but G Unit never really produced an artist like Rick Ross and MMG did when it comes to Wale, when it comes to Meek Mill. Tony Yayo actually could have had two great artists in Max B and French Montana. But honestly, signing Max B at that point in time, Max B has been locked up now for 13 years. You know what I mean? Max B has been locked up for 13 years, you guys. And anybody that really took on Max B back then, it would have been kind of crazy for their money. You know, I really thought that it would have been great if Max B could have actually beat those charges if he had better representation. But yeah, so then what came next, you guys? What came next? So we get Young Buck in September, and then we get the documentary. That's right. Yayo's on that one too. Running. He said it was actually one of his favorite songs. He said that on the Vlad interview. He actually said that on the Vlad interview, that Running was one of his favorite songs. Share this video, everybody. Let him know Mikey T is talking his truth. A lot of people out there want to say, oh, Mikey T's a G-Unit hater. How am I a G-Unit hater when I didn't come on here saying all types of bogus shit about how, you never seen me make a blog about how Meek Mill took Lloyd Banks' place. You know what I'm saying? You never seen me make a video about 50 Cent singing on records and how it diminished his career. I'll be real. I did tell Scott Storch that Candy Shop was whack. I'll take credit for that, or I'll take blame for that, whatever you want to look at it. But yo, man, I'm not going to sit here and let everybody out there watch and 50 Cent himself think that I'm a G Unit hater when I'm the one who watched and listened to 50 Cent's career since Power of the Frickin' Dollar. And I said to myself and I said to my friends, and I was like, yo, how is this dude, how is 50 going to take his career and turn it into a mainstream level? That's what I was asking myself. Give me 1 second, you guys. Go. There we go. Had to go grab this blunt right here. Yo, bro. October 31st says, who did numbers like G Unit besides Cash Money? Who did numbers like G Unit besides Cash Money? Well, I mean, let's look at G Unit's numbers. Let's look at G Unit's numbers. 50's first album comes out 800,000 2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks in a row, 800,000. We follow that up with Beg for Mercy in November. Beg for Mercy in November actually sells 350,000 first week. Yayo had said it went higher than Jay-Z's Black album on the charts, but that's actually inaccurate. Just to correct that. That's actually inaccurate. Just to correct that. Their album actually did not beat the Black album on the US charts. Their album sold 350,000 first week, which was very good. But also, I'm saying 50 Cent's album sold 1.6 million in 2 weeks. And only 350,000 fans returned to buy the G Unit album. At that point in time, Interscope wanted 50 Cent to do a new album. Interscope wanted 50 Cent to do another album, just like Pac had 2 albums out in a year, just like DMX had 2 albums out in a year. Now, this goes back to, I wanted to talk about French Montana a little bit as well, coming out and saying he's diamond. You know what I'm saying? Coming out and saying he's a diamond selling artist. Okay, accurate info. Now he's saying it's not accurate that he's the first one in New York to do it, but that is not what I witnessed French Montana say, you guys. French Montana did not say New York in the interview I witnessed. French Montana said that he was the first artist to go platinum outside of the United States. So he's born in Morocco, right? But also he said from the Mecca of New York, the Bronx, right? So 2 more things. Now, I'm not just trying to come up here and make excuses for French Montana. It's an amazing thing that he's actually gone diamond. You know what I'm saying? It's an amazing thing that he actually went diamond. So let's continue with the record sales. So 50 follows up Get Rich or Die Trying, end of the year, November, with Beg for Mercy. Beg for Mercy sells 350,000 units first week. Interscope, okay, whatever. We gave 50 his label. He proved that he could sell some units with a group. That was the most classic group album. That was the most classic group album I ever heard. That was my favorite group album. I mean, it is 2003. I'm technically only, 15 years old at the time? I'm only like 15 years old at the time. But yeah, so then we move on from there. Lloyd Banks gets his first test. Lloyd Banks gets his first opportunity to drop The Hunger for More. Now, I guess this album was supposed to drop a little bit earlier. I think they dropped the end of July. I had always thought it was August for some reason, but it was the July, the end of July. That's why it obviously must have felt like August. So I get the Hunger for More album. This album, you guys, Lloyd Banks's album moves. This dude's album moves 440,000 units in one single week. Lloyd Banks's Hunger for More album sold as many units as Drake's Thank Me Later. Best I ever had. I'll admit, 50 had a big opportunity right there with Lloyd Banks. You want to talk about BMF being a big show? You want to talk about BMF being a big show? You want to talk about power? 50 Cent had a vehicle in Lloyd Banks right there. Somebody that can go out and move 440,000 pieces in one single week. One single week. Who the hell would not respect Lloyd Banks moving 440,000? That is 500,000 pieces. Bumpy Johnson wasn't moving more pieces in a week than Lloyd Banks. Frank Lucas wasn't moving more pieces in a week than Lloyd Banks. Let's be real out here, man. People want to call me a G-Unit hater. Why? Is it because I know that information and I recite it? I remember what happened when Rick Ross did a little 130 first week. I was like, damn. Lloyd Banks set the bar high as hell, you guys. 50 could have had a vehicle like that, putting out Lloyd Banks albums every single year. The only reason, you guys, Banks' sales declined is because we didn't start getting an album from Lloyd Banks every year. 50 Cent should have realized Lloyd Banks has to come out every single year, like Ja Rule was, like who else was? T.I. was, like Fab was. You need to, like Ludacris was. Put Lloyd Banks on that schedule. Put Lloyd Banks on that schedule. Put some respect on Lloyd Banks' career. You had somebody out there moving more units in a week than Nicky Barnes, and you sit him on the shelf with those rosé bottles. Yo, you got to wait till 2006. It only makes sense, baby. It only makes sense that you wait till 2006. You know, if I had an opportunity as an A&R, at G-Unit, I would have loved to have worked on those albums and made sure that the Rotten Apple didn't come out and sell 150,000 first week, and to make sure that Get Buck and Buck the World had a better run. You know what I mean? Because 50, look at what happened to Young Buck after that. Young Buck comes out, sells 260,000 out the gate. 260,000 out the gate, you guys. People knew it was going to be a little bit different. People were really, let's be real about it, you guys. Let's be real about it. A lot of people out there thought Young Buck was going to fail. A lot of people out there thought this was going to break 50's streak. And I'm just being 100% real. A lot of people thought that Young Buck, the Southern style, they weren't 100% sold on it. Sure, Buck did good on the G-Unit album. Is it really going to work? Is it really going? Get Rich or Die Trying soundtrack wasn't yet. That came in 2005, bro. But everybody that watches me, they think I'm a hater just because I keep it real about different things. Oh, hold on. I'm a 50 Cent hater, right? But I went up to 50 Cent when he was in Connecticut, and I said, yo, Fifth, I just copped a bottle of effing. Can I get an interview, G's? 50 told me we don't have time for interviews right now. 50 actually didn't say that right away. 50 was going to do the interview. I could see the look in his eye. I asked him, I said, yo, Fifth, can we get this interview? This, that, da-da-da-da-da, whatever I said to him. 50 looked at me. 50 looked over there to somebody else. 50 looked back at me and said, yo, I just turned down channel 12. I was like, yo, Fifth, that ain't going to work for me. That ain't going to work for me, man. I'm out here in the dirt. I'm out here in the dirt doing this shit. They give more respect. They give more respect to other people doing interviews. It is what it is. And I'm not talking about channel 12. I'm talking about just anybody else who runs up onto him on the street. But Busta Rhymes told me, when you run up on somebody asking for an interview, he really told me you're supposed to have a little bit, you're supposed to build a little bit of a relationship before you even ask them for an interview. That's what Busta Rhymes told me, you guys. Nah, he didn't call me kid. He said we just turned down channel 12. So that's the reason that 50 couldn't give me the interview, because he had literally already turned down a TV station, you guys. But I walked up into the spot. I copped one of 50's effing bottles. You know what I'm saying? My boy was with me. He copped some bottles, and we actually, they were doing like this whole come and meet 50 Cent thing, and I was like, "Yo, Fifth, what's good? I got my camera right here. Can we get the interview?" And I shit you not, he was really considering doing the interview. I could tell by the look in his eyes. For some reason, I could tell by the look in his eyes that 50 wanted to help a young hustler. You know what I mean? Somebody on the grind, getting it out the mud. I could see that in his eyes. But then the fact that he had already turned down such a major promotion, you know what I mean? The fact that he had already turned down such a major promotion, he could not give me that interview. He couldn't give me the interview. And I had to respect that, but I acted a little crazy. I won't lie. I acted a little crazy. I ain't even gonna lie. But yeah, I got the opportunity to work with Bangum Smurf. Oh, hold on, we're not done with the sales history yet. We got to get back to the sales. So Young Buck comes back. Young Buck comes back, you guys, and Buck actually moves units. He shocked everybody doing over a 250,000 first week. I ain't gonna lie. Young Buck shocked everybody. Everybody, don't even bullshit, y'all. A lot of people thought he wasn't doing over 150,000. A lot of people out there were thinking that Young Buck's album was going to be the one that flopped on G Unit. And it turned out that Young Buck's album was actually the one on G Unit that we all liked. It actually turned out that Young Buck had the best album on G Unit. Anybody tell me I'm wrong in the chat? Out of all the albums, I know you liked Buck. Everybody thought Buck brought a cool vibe to G Unit. Everybody thought, okay, damn, is it going to work with Yayo being out? Is it going to work with Yayo being out? Is it going to work with Young Buck coming in? You know what I'm saying? Is this whole thing going to work? Is the public going to just throw it back at us? But nah, it actually worked. Bringing in the Southern influence, which next actually, it would open up the doors. It would open up the doors for the game, the documentary, the Game's album, the documentary, you guys, would come out next. And my dude right here, G Mooch, has a good point. He says, better than the documentary? The documentary is better than Straight Outta Cashville. All right, let's debate that real quick. Straight Outta Cashville versus the documentary. What made Straight Outta Cashville better than the documentary was the fact that the Game name dropped on almost every song. It kind of ruined it for me a little bit. It kind of ruined it for me, all the name dropping from the Game. It kind of ruined it for me, all the name dropping. But also, you're 100% right, because the documentary is such a classic album. But the thing I'm also talking about is how I think the majority of the people in the chat probably liked Young Buck a little bit better than the Game at that point in time. Young Buck came off as a more smooth artist than the Game back then. BU Game says 50 Cent's first two albums was the best. Yeah, Power of the Dollar and Guess Who's Back. His first four albums were really good, man. Power of the Dollar, Guess Who's Back, Get Rich or Die Trying, The Massacre. I wasn't big on Curtis, even though he's got some bangers on there with I Get Money. He's got the joint with Akon. You know what I'm saying? He has some records on there. He tried to do some things for Young Buck with that Nicole chick from the Pussycat Dolls. So 50 was working on Curtis, but my only issue was that 50 Cent swapped out Curtis for Before I Self-Destruct. Before I Self-Destruct was supposed to be the album that came after The Massacre. And Ra says, So this is what I was talking about a little earlier with G Unit not really finding their production style, you guys. Like the fact that Irv Gotti, Irv Gotti had that sound for Murder Inc. 50, to my knowledge, never really locked down that one producer. You'd have you would think Dr. Dre was going to come in and actually produce all the cuts, or at least a few cuts per album. That didn't end up happening. That didn't end up happening, you guys. But yeah, so I'm just on here for anybody watching right now. I'm just letting everybody know that I don't have issues with G Unit. I don't have issues with 50 Cent. All these albums that I'm actually talking about, I've actually purchased, from Get Rich or Die Trying to Beg for Mercy. You know what I'm saying? To having multiple burned copies of Power of the Dollar. You know what I'm saying? To copping the solo albums, Lloyd Banks album, Young Bucks album. Then in January, we follow top of the year, 2005, 50 Cent pushes back. I might have to start doing all this shit in retrospectives if everybody cares about it this much. I might have to break down every portion of what we witnessed, because in January of 2005, The Game drops the documentary, you guys. The album that got 50 Cent's second album's title changed. 50 Cent pushed back his album. 50 pushed back his album. When 50 pushed back his album, he had to change the title. He had to change the title, you guys. The album was going to be called The St. Valentine's Day Massacre. The St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Exactly. Exactly, Ra. The St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Guys, I'm putting up a new poll. 50 won the poll over Ja for better singer. I think it's pretty evident that 50's a better singer than Ja Rule. The man has been actually using his voice to, accentuate and make his songs more popular since the late 90s. Ja Rule would not do anything like that on the Veni Vidi Vici album, you guys. You would not catch Ja. The closest, the most vulnerable Ja Rule got on Veni Vidi Vici was making the song, which I loved, that was for his daughter. You know what I'm saying? I'll always come back to you. You're my baby now and never. You know what I'm saying? But no, you're not allowed to listen just because you're burning copies of Power of the Dollar. You're not allowed to listen to Veni Vidi Vici, right? No, don't tell me what I'm listening to and not listening to when I'm 10, 11, 12 years old. You know what I'm saying? Please don't. Please don't, man. Let me explore music. Let me listen to CNN. Let me listen to Mobb Deep. Let me listen to Wu-Tang. Let me listen to these underground cats like 50 and shit like that. Let me listen to this shit, man. Let me listen to Jadakiss and Styles P, since I got the chance to hear them with DMX and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Ride With Me. What Smoke Some. What was Ride With Me featured on? I'm putting up a new poll right now. Vote in this poll, you guys. Hopefully everybody recognizes I'm putting up a poll right now. Yep, Veni Vidi Vici, the Ja Rule. Yeah, Ja Rule had a lot of bangers on that album, man. You know what I mean? Ja Rule had a lot of good songs on that album. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna. 336 was a great album too. Rule 336 was a great album. I'm actually going to be interviewing Chris Black from Rule 336, you guys, in the next week or so. After the holidays calm down and shit like that. Pain is Love is where it started going too commercial for me, you guys. The Last Temptation is where it was over. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not going to come on here and do anything besides keep it real with you guys. When I got the opportunity to work with Bangum Smurf, you know what I mean? It was at the very beginning of my career. Bangum Smurf was like the third or fourth interview that I actually did. From first linking up with Freaky Zeke from Dipset, finding out that Freaky Zeke was actually the president of Dipset. Then I went out and interviewed Young Dice, who Rick Ross had just given a bunch of MMG chains. It was pretty crazy back in the day. Then he put me on with Domination. I link up with Domination. I do my second World Star video. Then I link up with 40 Glock. That's right. I went and I interviewed 40 Glock. So way from the beginning, you guys, I was actually interviewing people that were affiliated with G Unit and actually affiliated with SBG, Feed the Wolves. You know what I mean? Bangum Smurf. I went out to Trinidad after that. And at this point in time, yes, it was MMG versus G Unit, you guys. MMG versus G Unit. Smurf finagled his way into getting an artist on MMG. So we was riding high on MMG, you guys. You got to understand, when I first got involved in this shit, I wasn't planning on being a blogger. I wasn't planning on, like I told you a little bit earlier, I would have loved the opportunity to A&R Lloyd Banks' second album, Young Buck's second album, Tony Yayo's second album. You know what I'm saying? I would have loved these opportunities. Bangum Smurf, when I first read about Bangum Smurf, you guys, I'm flipping through the pages of Double XL magazine or The Source, whichever it was. I'm flipping through the magazine. And I'm like, yo, Bangum Smurf dropped from G Unit, links up a new record deal with Koch. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, that's admirable. I'm like, that shit is admirable right there. Bangum Smurf got kicked out of G Unit. Bangum Smurf actually got kicked out of G Unit, but now he's got a deal. But now he actually has a deal with Koch. I'm like, who goes from getting dropped and within 6 months having another record deal? But I'm still very green reading this. You know what I mean? I'm like, this is like 2003 that I'm reading this. So I'm still very young. You know, I wouldn't get into the game for another 5 years still, but I'm still accumulating all of this information. I'm studying just like I was back in the day, listening to all the 50 Cent music. You know what I mean? Just like I was listening to the Wu-Tang, going back and listening to Pac and Big's albums, these albums that I missed, still following the career of DMX, seeing his first 5 albums. Having this information stored in your mind, it's power. Having the ability to have witnessed it and seen all this. Some of these other guys were locked up and they did not get to experience it like I did. That's why you're tuning in and watching me talk about it. This was our life, you guys. These were our moments. Let's talk about them. I might have to go long format and talk about all this shit. So the game comes out. The documentary legitimately pushes back 50's second album. I'm not talking about if How We Do, Hate It or Love It was supposed to be on the Massacre. That's not what I'm talking about. Although just me as a fan, 50 Cent rapping about, I was young, I saw my mama kissing a girl. That sounds like an emotion that he would have rather got out on his own album. That sounds like kind of like an emotion that he would have rather got out in his own album to me. You know what I'm saying? Now, I could talk about the fact that the documentary might have been 50's album in the first place. I mean, the Games album at first, if anybody in the chat tells me right now what was the Game's original title for his debut album, whoever says that, I will whoever tells me what the original title for Game's first debut album with Dr. Dre was going to be, I will shout you out. Damn, dude. You know, Smurf went from Koch Records. Smurf went from Koch Records and having that deal from 2003, 2004, getting locked up for 3 years, coming out and then lining everybody up with MMG. In reality, we were rocking with MMG before Meek Mill and Wale came onto the scene. In reality, it was Mass Pike Miles as the R&B singer. It was Triple C's as the group. So I saw it as a great opportunity. I never expected to be a blogger, you guys. I was coming in this to change the music scene. You know what I mean? I was coming in this to change the music scene, to put an extra push behind these albums. You know what I mean? To show the world what they were missing. That's why I got involved in this shit, you guys. I got involved in this shit to change the game. We weren't seeing enough. We didn't hear enough about 50 Cent when he was with the power of the dollar. We didn't hear enough about Big L. We weren't hearing enough about Bang'em Smurf back then. I wanted to get into the game and change it. And this is just from our coast, you guys, the East Coast. Imagine what I could have did going down to Philly, going down to Florida, going into Georgia, going over to Chicago, California, all of these states. That was my original intention, you guys. That's why when Smurf came and Smurf was like, we got to deal with Rick Ross, I told Ross, I don't want no money. I want you to put on Dice. Ross met Dice. Apparently, Ross thought Dice was a fly dude. Actually told Dice to start calling himself Lil Dice. Now, I'm going to have Dice on to talk about his own story. You know what I mean? He could talk about his own story. My dude, Wild Beast. My dude right there. Y'all know it. Y'all know it. NWA Volume 1 was the Game's first album. Why did it change to the documentary? You know, I would have to talk to 50 about this. I don't think any other interviewer would ask 50 this question. But 50, Get Rich or Die Trying drops. We get the spectacle. What do we need next? Don't we need more information? Don't we need the documentary? Was 50's second album supposed to be called the documentary? Would it have made sense for 50's second album to be called the documentary? Judging by what I just said, I would have to say so. I would have to say so because I'm not going to lie to you guys. When 50 put out his second album, when 50 put out The Massacre, I was a little stumped. You guys. I was like, why is this album called The Massacre? 50 went with Sway. You know what I mean? 50 went with Sway and said, oh, you know, you saw Get Rich. Now you're seeing The Massacre. It's like, all right, yeah, I like how you flipped that there, Fifth. But I think it would have been better. I think it would have been better if his second album was actually named The Documentary, 50's second album, because it would have been like an inside look as to who 50 Cent was. Maybe I'm bugging. I think my dude Bilo said copy. What up, Rhode Island was popping. Oh, Bilo, you talking about this? How Easy's estate blocked that album title? Oh, shit. I like y'all interacting with me in the chat, man. It shows that we got the most lit chat in here, y'all. We're talking about history. So the Games album comes out, the documentary, the biggest sales for one of 50's artists. Guys, the sales were 580,000 first week. Let me get the official numbers. 587,000 units first week. And everybody in here, go check out the official Lobby Girl. That's right, y'all. If you mess with the Lobby Boys, go follow the Lobby Girl, Bella K. I got it pinned up. Show Bella some love. She's actually in London right now, I think. She's in London doing her thing right now. This girl's moving, y'all. So tap in with the Lobby Girl. Tap in with the official Lobby Girl so y'all can get in tune. Don't be late. All I'm gonna say is don't be late on the Lobby Girl, y'all. Bella K. Don't be late on it because you're gonna be mad at yourself that you didn't potentially get the follow back at this point in time. So you know what I'm saying? I'm not telling you to go out there and shoot your shot or whatever, but go holla at Bella K if you're a producer, if you're a director, if you could potentially use whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you do in the industry, go holla at Bella. Or if you just, want to check out some music. Figure It Out says 50 wrote half that album. Okay. Everybody, vote in the poll right now. My guy Clouds Clutch Corner says, "What's good? What's poppin', Mikey T?" My favorite G Unit album was "Beg for Mercy." Like I said, my favorite group album for sure. But if you include all the artist albums under G Unit, I'd definitely go with Banks' "Hunger for More" 1 or "Rotten Apple." You dig? No, I definitely appreciate you coming in and voicing your opinion on that. I just wanted to tap on here today, and just kind of clear the air about all the BS. A lot of people out there think like, oh, Mikey T hating on G Unit just because he's worked with Bang'em Smurf in the past or Domination in the past or Maybach Music in any capacity, interviewing Gunplay, or you know what I'm saying? I don't take sides when it comes to this music shit. You know what I mean? I'm not taking sides when it comes to coming on here and reporting the blogging information. When I come on here, I'm not riding anybody. I'm not coming on here to say 50's the greatest. I'm going to give you my raw opinion on what I think about what 50 does. I'm going to come on here and give you my raw opinion if Mano and Jim Jones drop an album and I do a review on the Lobby Boys album. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to come on here and tell you how I feel about 50 producing television like BMF. I'm going to tell you how I feel about 50's associate, Lil Meech, getting hit off over a watch. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to come on here and keep it real, and I'm going to talk about all of these situations. I've been blogging for the last 12 years. You know what I'm saying? And for the last 2.5 years, I've been coming on here and voicing my opinions on everything in the industry. It's the new wave, you guys. You're just going to have to get used to it. And hopefully you tell one of your friends about me. Hopefully you tell one of your friends about me, and we can continue to grow. And we can continue to grow and evolve in the game. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not coming on here and giving anything but true facts. I'm not coming on here and doing anything besides letting people speak their truth. When I get an opportunity to link up with an artist that has an issue with G Unit, my first question is not, hey, tell me about why you don't like G Unit. I interviewed Fred Rostar. I just did another interview with Fred Rostar 1.5 years ago. Go watch it. 21 minutes. Dope ass interview. No question about, hey man, was 50 Cent running around getting you Phillies back in the day? There were no questions like that. There were absolutely no questions like that when I'm doing interviews with these people. They think you got that MMG ink on you. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, yep. Now I would I'd get it a little bit more if the Bang'em Smurf situation with Rick Ross actually worked out. You know what I'm saying? The MMG situation with Smurf didn't really work out. You know what I mean? But even throughout that situation, I'll just be real. Dice, who was actually in the deal with G Unit or in the deal with MMG, would not diss G Unit. That wasn't what he wanted to do while working with Rick Ross. He wanted to actually try and produce music. You know what I'm saying? That's what he actually wanted to do. Now, Smurf and myself, Smurf will probably say, oh, Mikey T just wanted to talk about 50, this, that, and the third. Shit. Uh, we talked about a lot. You know what I mean? We talked about a whole lot. Go check out my interviews with Smurf. You know what I mean? I break down a lot of his career to when he actually, got sentenced and signed to Koch Records in the same day. Did that have anything to do with 50 Cent? You know what I'm saying? Like, not every single interview or how about when Smurf, they ran up on Smurf in the jail cell Did that have anything to do with 50 Cent? You know what I mean? There's a lot of different situations that I would interview Smurf about that just didn't pertain to 50 Cent. But if the shoe fits, wear it, right? You know what I mean? If you're gonna try to say that, you're gonna try to throw somebody under the bus for some shit like that. Somebody wants to talk about, okay, go check out an interview I did with Young Lido, former affiliate of Troy Ave. I asked Young Lido about 50 Cent. This video has like 50, 60, 70,000 views on it or more at this point. He didn't have nothing but positive shit to say about 50 Cent. Like I said, though, you guys, I'm not coming on here. Like I said, I'm not coming on here to censor my guests. You know what I mean? If somebody has a positive story, if somebody comes on and says, hey, I was a G Unit artist and it didn't work out, I would have that person on my show. You know what I'm saying? If somebody comes on like Kid and says, yo, I'm rocking with 50 right now and he changed my life, I'm going to have him on my show. You think I'm not going to have Kid on my show, though, when he says that the G Unit deal is over? No, that would be ridiculous if I didn't do that. Who am I? Who am I to say that? You know what I mean? Who am I to censor my guests? You're just not going to see me doing that. But yeah, so for that whole situation right there, man, Soulja Boy went crazy. Soulja Boy went crazy on the internet today, dissing everybody, dissing Vlad. Say my name. Adam 22, Vlad TV, Sean Cotton. He called out all these guys, man. Sean Cotton, Say Cheese. He said, I got the #1 interview on all of your platforms. I know he didn't I know he didn't actually diss Charlemagne. I know he didn't diss the Breakfast Club. He didn't diss Gilly. Let's see. He doesn't diss the hottest new platforms, but he's going to diss Adam 22. He's going to diss Vlad. He's going to diss Say Cheese. Say Cheese actually has a really dope platform. I'll say that much. You know what I mean? I really see how Sean Cotton actually jumps on the new artists. You know, he gets them. He's smart about it. I got a lot of respect for that. I think I could do some great interviews on DJ Vlad's channel as well. It's kind of ridiculous that Soulja Boy wants to call these guys out because he doesn't want to do interviews. I think Soulja Boy, if you don't want to do an interview with these guys, you turn them down for the interview. I don't think they're thinking about it and dwelling on it so much. All these guys that you're mentioning are actually multimillionaires. It's not like, you know what I mean? It's not like an independent blogger that you're shitting on because you don't, Soulja Boy doesn't want to say my name, you guys. You know what I mean? Don't say Mikey T's name, but go and diss everybody else. You know what I mean? That doesn't necessarily need, you know what I mean? You don't need to say Vlad's name. Millions of people are checking out his content every day, so why say it? You don't need to say Adam 22's name. People are dissing, making videos about him every single day. Iceberg says, notice how Soulja ain't dissed Mikey T, but dissed all the other bloggers. I think Soulja is low. I think Mikey is SODMG low key. Bro, bro, for anybody in here wondering what it is, man, for anybody in here wondering what it is, I need y'all to stop with that hate and shit, man. I'm gonna show you what it is.
Lil Durk on rock with Mikey T, the movie star. You are now you're rocking, man. 300. Lil Durk on rock with Mikey T, the movie star. You are now you're rocking, man. 300.
That's how you get on here. That's how you get on here and get on the channel with me. This is how you get on the channel with me, guys.
Lil Durk on rock with Mikey T, the movie star. You are now you're rocking, man. 300.
This is how you rock on the channel with me. You're not getting on this channel. You're not coming on this channel unless you have something positive to offer. I'm being real right now. You're not coming on the channel unless you got something positive to offer. You're not coming on the channel unless you're bringing up some good conversation. You know what I'm saying? And offer. And I'm not bringing people on the channel just to hate. That's what I'm expressing to you guys. I had an opportunity with several ops of 50 Cent to just completely disparage 50, make him look like crap. Do I do that? No, I don't do that. Because of the fact that I have some interviews with Bang'em Smurf, whose obvious op is 50 Cent. Now Tony Yayo, now Lloyd Banks, now DJ Woo Kid. Now they all think Mikey T is the op. You know what I'm saying? Now they're all saying that Mikey T is the op. The guy that actually poured my money, my paper into their projects, but I'm an op. Okay. All right. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. You know, sometimes people are just confused. Let's bring up Tony Yayo's first week album sales. Let's bring them up. 215,000 copies. 215,000 copies first week. Very, very decent numbers for Tony Yayo. I actually purchased that album, Thoughts of a Predicate Felon. And for everybody just tuning in, talking about who my ops are, I'm sorry you don't tune into enough videos to actually see what's going on and see how things have changed. But you need to keep tuning in. You need to make sure you're subscribed. Don't miss my live videos because you guys are probably under the impression of something else when shit has changed. Things change. They don't stay the same. You know what I'm saying? I hustled. I hustled. I came up. Figure it out says bro hates 50, but this dude figure it out couldn't even name all of the G Unit albums in a row. You know what I mean? Like, you are the reason that G Unit is over, bro. If G Unit had more people, more fans like me, I bet any G Unit fan in here. Let me know if you're a G Unit fan in here. Let me know if you cop the shoes. If you cop the G Unit shoes, let me know. Guys, let me know if you spent $50 on the G Unit sneakers. How do you know that I'm a 50 fan over Game? When the Game dropped those Hurricanes, I said, yo, we ain't rocking with that. We ain't rocking with those. Yep. The all. I was a fan, but didn't get the kicks. Hold on one second. I seen somebody said I had the all white pair. Tommy said I had a pair. The red and the black ones, I didn't get those, bro. I got the white ones. I got the white ones. I wish I would have got the red and the blacks. The grays look sweet too. Slime Life said he bought the S dots. The S dots were sweet too, man. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't really have money like that to be buying a bunch of sneakers and shit. So I you know what I mean? I spent the $50. But when I was just on there actually chopping it up, talking about it, looking up some of the G Unit vintage shit. Those shoes are going for $550, you know, now you guys. In reality, I should have saved up a bunch of my money, saved them shoes, and held on to them and knew they was going to go vintage. Oh, the navy was cool too. Clouded Chris says, I copped the G Unit Reebok pumps, the white and the navy. Somebody said, yo, nobody buys the G Unit sneakers unless you're like a corny kid or something like that. Yo, 50 Cent done shit on all the G Unit members because they pulled up to a meeting without the G Unit sneakers. If you're trying to come on here and say that 50 was only trying to sell sneakers to a certain demographic of people, if you're trying to tell me that 50 didn't want all them kids running outside the Rochdale buildings wearing G Unit sneakers, you just don't get it, man. You just don't get it. If you don't think 50 wanted all them kids running down the street near Baisley wearing the G Unit sneakers. Let's be real about this shit, man. He wasn't just expecting kids in Connecticut and kids in Virginia and kids in the Carolinas to buy that shit, man. If you ain't doing it where you're from, you ain't doing it, period, man. Oh, damn. Mikey, what you know about Rochdale Village? I've been to Rochdale Village a lot. I shot a lot of interviews in Rochdale Village. I feel like a lot of people didn't know. That I would actually like travel out to whatever hood somebody was from. Like Chinks had me over to Far Rock. You know what I'm saying? Chinks had me come to Far Rock. He made a big deal about that. You know what I mean? Chinks actually made a big deal about that shit. He was saying it was like apparently like it wasn't really all that safe that I went out to Far Rock. Let me show y'all.
You see my nigga Dirk?
Nah, you know he turned the fuck up, man. 2014, top of the year, rocking out with all real niggas. Kobe Boy OTF. Shout my nigga Money King. Y'all know he rocking, man.
You know what I'm saying? Shot Town.
In this interview when I said we gonna be on top, feel
Mikey T, the porno star, my motherfucking nigga.
Nigga.
Shout my nigga Mikey T, the movie star. You know what I'm saying? We come from the bottom. My niggas with me in the projects. My first video, he came out shot in the projects with me.
Salute,
Killers.
Real cracker. No, I'm just playing.
Come on, Dirk. Why do you gotta do that to me, Dirk? But yeah, you all heard Chinks. Like I was actually known for going to, like I went all the way to the Baltimore to go check No and shit. I was actually known for going like wherever somebody was from to actually go link up with them and shit. Yeah, so I just wanted to log on here today and let everybody know it's not beef with G Unit. Like it's not like static with anybody in G Unit. You know what I'm saying? I really hope 50 does some shit with my guy Trigger Ock. Trigger Ock is the voice of New York, in my opinion. I'm gonna call him the voice of New York. Rest in peace to Chinks. That's my bro right there, man. That's my bro right there. If you want to contact me, hit me on Instagram. Anybody that wants to contact me, follow me on Instagram. I want y'all to follow me right now. Yeah, so I just want everybody to know, man, I don't have no issues with G Unit, you guys. Like, I went to the G Unit offices. That's right. I went to the This Is 50 offices. I interviewed with Kid. I actually got a chance to see 50's Moon Man up close. You know what I'm saying? I got a chance to see 50's Moon Man up close. I'm not going to lie. I touched it. I'm not going to lie. I touched the Moon Man. Hopefully that's not an issue. Hopefully Big 5-0, hopefully 5-0 doesn't be like, yo, that boy touched my Moon Man. He's out of here. Yo, bro, I don't think I'm going to get the opportunity to win a VMA. You know what I'm saying? I'm not Jack Harlow. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I'm going to get a VMA award, so I had to touch it back then. The voice of New York. Yeah, I'm no. Don't give somebody my tagline, Mystic Mac. That's my tagline. And I'm giving that shit to Trigger Ock. And Trigger Ock might be like, yo, Mikey T, that tagline's kind of whack though, bro. Let me want y'all to go blow up Trigger Ox Instagram, man. Want y'all to go follow Trigger Ox. He's got a new album out right now. Trigger Ox's new album is out. It's called Trigonometry. Actually, go follow the lobby girl, Bella K, too. Go follow the official lobby girl, too, Bella K, y'all. I got her Instagram pinned up as well. If y'all haven't followed her, make sure you go follow Bella K. If you haven't followed Bella K, you're pretty much sleeping. I'm going to be real with you. If you have not followed Bella K, you're pretty much sleeping. But yeah, man. Nah, Griselda is everything. Griselda is classic New York hip hop, Mystic Mac, excuse me. Yeah. Yeah, Rod, you already know that, bro. Bro, boy, you gonna have make Ock pull the trigger for me. Yeah, trigger Ock, man. Yeah. Yeah, I actually did a review of it, Slime Life. I actually did a review of it, man. Everybody in here, go follow Trigger Ock right now. Send him a message. Tell him to pop up in this video right now. Go send Trigger Ock a message and tell him to pop up in this video right now. That's my dude right there. I actually known Trigger since he was young. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking when like 2010, like at least 10 years ago. I've known him since he was younger. He still had the same grind. He got locked up. But I just don't want 50 to be like, yo, what's going on with this situation, man? Like, I'm not playing that shit. Like, I done helped Bang'em Smurf, done interviews with Bang'em Smurf, and I'm going to do interviews with Trigger Ock because I want to see his career blossom. I want to see his career go somewhere. When Kid signed to G Unit, I did interviews with Kid because I wanted to see his career go from somewhere. The guy who's featured on Miss Officer, this fit right into everything I was doing, you guys. This fit right into everything I was doing. The reason I got into the game. We didn't hear enough about Kid, you guys. That's why I'm like, yo, I got the opportunity to interview with Kid. It's amazing. I'm going to go there. No matter what anybody thinks about me working with Bang'em Smurf or me working with the guys, I'm going to the G Unit offices and I'm going to work with Kid. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to put in that work. You be out your mind to think that I'm not going to work with MOP if I ever got the opportunity to. I was trading emails with Billy Danz. You be out of your mind to not think I'm going to go work with Ali Vegas. Okay, Ali Vegas is a Bang'em Smurf affiliate. Ali Vegas used to be signed to the same label as 50 Cent. They were both signed to Columbia at the same time. Because of the fact that he works with Bang'em Smurf, I'm not going to interview him because that might piss 50 off. I understand that's what everybody on the East Coast was thinking back in the day. But you got to understand, Tony Yayo wasn't giving me no interviews. Lloyd Banks wasn't giving me no interviews. They were touring. I respect that. When I went and linked up with Ali Vegas, I didn't ask him any shiesty shit about no G Unit shit. When I linked up with Jack Thriller and did an interview, I didn't say, oh, what happened with the 50 Cent deal? What happened with what's going on with G Unit? When I'm linking up with 40 Glock, I'm not, yo, why is everything going wrong with G? That's not my MO, you guys. I don't focus on the negative aspects of people's career like that. When I went and did an interview with Young Berg, hell, look at my interview with Max B. Look at my interview with Max B, you guys. There's no negative headlines about Jim Jones. Not one. When I met up with Jim Jones in Miami and we was in the studio with Scott Storch and I had Jim Jones shouting me out and all that shit, You think I would have felt right if I'm doing all these other interviews with people, you know what I'm saying, and I'm stirring it up and shit? You got to understand, man. I like to focus on the other parts of people's career. Just because of the fact that I filmed some videos with Bangum Smurf dissing 50 Cent. Number one, those aren't the only videos we filmed. We filmed multiple videos about Dice working with MMG trying to promote that aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't my fault back in the day. 50 Cent had this video where he hung up a picture of the Feed the Wolves mixtape. You know what I'm saying? He hung up a picture of Bangum Smurf's mixtape. I'm working with trying to put together this MMG deal. Why wouldn't we respond to that? That was pretty sick. Mikey T, let them hate, but watch the money pile up. Slime Life, definitely let Vado know. I'd love to do another interview with Vado. I actually did one of Vado's first interviews. Legendary says, where do you rank 50 Mikey T? Well, I was going to answer that question for you a little bit earlier, man. I put 50 at about number 6 or 7. Let me see. In the all-time list, that goes like Pac, Big, X, J, M, Nas, 50. Pac, Big, X, Pac, Big, DMX, Jay-Z, Eminem, Nas, 50 Cent, Lil Wayne. Jadakiss, Outkast. That's the top 10 right there. Going back, listening. Nope. So Jadakiss might be 11. Snoop Dogg might go after Wayne. Snoop Dogg might go after Wayne, or Wayne might go after Snoop Dogg. Wayne, 50, Snoop, Wayne, Outkast. Outkast needs to be in there. Outkast could be in my top 10, you guys. Mobb Deep comes right after that. Mobb Deep comes after that. Probably Mobb Deep might be 12, might be 15, right around there, though. You know what I mean? You got to figure some other people in, too. I was trying to give a quick top 10. Jadakiss is right there, though. I put Jadakiss above Fab. I put Jada above Fab just because of personal interest level. Was it 6? Yep. I put 50 above Snoop just because of pure interest. I might put Snoop above Wayne for pure interest. Wayne goes up there because of bodies of work as well, though. I'm going to give him his respect. Wayne's getting his respect. Game would probably go a further. I don't know if T.I. is Ludacris. All these other names. Fab, as I said. You know what I mean? Exactly. Did an interview with Royce the 5'9". You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I did an interview with Royce the 5'9". Yeah. Royce the 5'9" was a really good dude, man. I really appreciate him doing that interview for me. You know? This is Mikey T, baby. You know what I mean? This is Mikey T. Oh, hell yeah. I like all 3 of those artists, bro. I like all 3 of those artists, Slime Life. Appreciate you for tapping in too, man. See, this is what I want to get away from. Is Mikey T anti-G Unit? Like, what? Are you bugging? Are you bugging? I was going to be a fan of Hot Rod for 50 Cent. I was going to be a fan of Hot Rod for you, Fifth. I was going to buy Spider Loke's album for you. I was going to buy the Spider Loke album for you, 50. But I'm the bad guy. I will say one thing. I did not buy the Massacre re-release. Great single, Without a Control remix. I really wish that would have been one of the singles for the original Massacre with Mobb Deep. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, man. I was totally just kidding because Spider Loke is an artist that I think should have got his release on G Unit. if you notice, they had actually started building him up. They put him on Tony Yayo's album in 2005. They put him on the Get Rich or Die Trying soundtrack. You know what I mean? They put him on, I believe he was on Lloyd Banks' Rotten Apple too. Gilmore's, right? Or tell me if I'm mistaken, because I'm doing an interview, and I'm just looking at the way that they built him up. And it's like, why would you build this man up just to not do anything? You got him on all these tracks, couple tracks on the Get Rich or Die Trying soundtrack, right after having been on Tony Yayo's album. Now you got him on Lloyd Banks' next album. Why didn't we get that album? Just because he sort of, they put in a whole lot of work just to flip over to Hot Rod, who had the song with Mary J. Blige. You know what I'm saying? Oh, God, please. Please. Please, man. Mikey T bought, I ain't even going to lie, man. Yeah, terminate on site compared to Beg for Mercy. Because let's be real. Let's be real, you guys. Terminate on, or the second G, I got to light up for this, man. This is why I should have been an A&R at G Unit. This is why I should have been an A. 50. I know you ain't doing the music thing no more, man. I guess we can't really. Well, actually, man, regardless of if I'm messing with G Unit or not, I will try to throw Trigger Ock the alley oop where I can, just because I really think that he could reinvigorate that brand. The voice of New York, baby. What Beg for Mercy 2 could have been, you guys. All right, so you all heard what I said a little bit earlier. Beg for Mercy actually involved Young Buck. They're bringing in the South now, right? They bring in the South. They got that dope-ass vibe. It was almost a little bit better, than when they were doing the G Unit mixtapes. I love all those songs. I think Tony Yayo has the most fire verses. Lloyd Banks really became the punchline king out of that. And 50 Cent really just held everything together. You know what I mean? He actually proved that he had his next two artists there, as any artist should have. Wayne with Nicki and Drake, Rick Ross with Meek Mill and Wale. 50 had Banks and Yayo. It would later turn into Banks, Yayo, Young Buck, and The Game. Now, if the second G Unit album could have had all those flavors, man, you got your New York, the New York trio, Fit, Banks, Yayo. The South, Young Buck, in the West Coast, The Game, that would have made the Beg for Mercy follow-up album amazing. That is crazy. That's crazy. I never heard the rumor about them undershipping albums, but that's eventually what they would go on to say, that albums were beginning to get undershipped, and that's why they weren't able to sell as many units first week. So yeah, you have a good point there. Yep, Spider Loke actually has his own podcast now, and it's great how he found his lane. You know what I'm saying? Because if you remember, he had said in his interview that 50, really asked him or saw his grind when it came to having a social media presence. So him actually getting and formulating and really doing his YouTube thing is pretty amazing right now, man. No, man, what's the beef with you and 50 now? No, I'm pretty much just letting everybody know that I don't have any issues with 50 Cent. I never really had any issues with 50 Cent or G Unit. I was simply covering Bang'em Smurf. I was simply covering different artists under MMG. And all the artists wouldn't even diss 50. When I'm doing interviews with Stolly, when I'm doing interviews with Torch, who's actually from the Bronx, even with Gunplay, we didn't even go that hard in. Of course, Gunplay responded to what happened to him. Legendary. I don't know if 50's beef with Jimmy Iovine really played a part in the undershipment of the product, man. I don't really feel like, you know what I'm saying? I just don't want everybody to get caught up on the fact that I was working with Bangum Smurf to mean that I was like a G Unit hater. You know, when I got the opportunity to work with people like 40 Glock, when I got who was affiliated with G Unit through Mob Deep, and when I got the opportunity to work with Kid Kid, I took those opportunities. I didn't let it affect my career. I wasn't sitting in the corner like, no, they're G Unit and I'm not going to work with them. You know what I'm saying? Uh, I actually even almost had plans of doing an interview with Maserati Fox. After Maserati Fox dissed me, Maserati Fox's team actually reached out. I might have to save that for a whole nother exclusive on its own. I don't want to give y'all too much. That's probably a story of its own of the whole situation that happened with myself and Maserati Fox involving Bangum Smurf and everybody. You know, that's a story for another day. Wow, Legendary says he actually enjoyed Terminate on Sight. Now, Terminate on Sight, in all honesty, you guys, it didn't have all the elements there that I was hoping there would be, which is the growth of G Unit. You know what I mean? Yeah, sorry about that, you guys. Mark says, I always saw you more as a G Unit fan. Well, you know, a lot of the guys from G Unit don't see it that way. Like Mike Knox, for instance. Mike Knox took interest in doing interviews with me at one point, and then all of a sudden he didn't want to do it because he thinks like the fact that I interviewed Bangum Smurf, I can't do any interviews with him. That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. I never put a limit on who I can interview. I interviewed Little Dirk. Do you think that's not going to mean that I would want to interview Chief Keef? You know what I mean? Just because they have a little bit of an issue. I interviewed, you know what I mean? I interviewed this guy. I'm not going to interview that guy. Like I can give you a million examples of people that or 1,000 examples of people that I've interviewed, and I'm not going to just uh, throw someone else to the side like that. Like the whole situation that happened with. Actually, I'm not going to bring that up. The whole situation, that whole situation. Appreciate you, Wild Beast. Wild Beast says Mikey T been at this since he was damn near a kid, out there doing interviews. Salute to this man's grind. Appreciate you, man. Um, yeah, Ross says something very, very, very good. Terminator on Sight wasn't terrible. It just was underwhelming. Yeah, with all the spectacle that we got from the Get Rich or Die Trying soundtrack featuring everybody, MOP, Mace, Spider Loke, you know what I'm saying? Prodigy. You know what I mean? Like I felt like the Terminate on Sight album should have been a lot bigger. Then Young Buck gets cut off of half the tracks. Like you got to be kidding me right now. You got to be kidding me right now. So now we're not getting the game. And now Young Buck is cut off half the tracks. Now Young Buck is out of G Unit just like the game was a year prior. This makes absolutely no sense. Fifth. But you're allowed to think that. You're allowed to have your own opinion, you guys. Anybody can have their own opinion on people getting kicked out of G Unit. You can have your opinion if you like the music or not. You can have your opinion if you like the feature or not. If you thought they were working with shitty production. You're allowed to have all these opinions. And you know what? Even if you are G Unit, if you're even within the camp, if you're G Unit, if you're MMG, if you're ASAP Mob, and you don't share your opinion with the group, then you just might not have anything to offer the group. Sometimes you're going to have to check yourself. You know what I mean? Maybe I should have checked myself when I told Scott Storch that Candy Shop was corny as hell. Would I have said that in the studio in the moment in 50's recording? Candy Shop, you probably want to check yourself. You know what I mean? You're probably going to want to check yourself before doing that. You know what I'm saying? But I was just looking at it after the fact, because here we were, literally 6-7 years removed, and I just had to let him know that, honestly, in my honest opinion, I felt like 50 Cent recording Candy Shop was one of the reasons that he did not continue to have the respect of the fans. You know, the fact that he recorded Candy Shop, dropped that, it was a major cash grab, 1.1 million in a short week, as Jadakiss said. Recording Candy Shop was a cash grab in a half. You know what I mean? Just like the game releasing the documentary too. Just like Rick Ross releasing Port of Miami 2. Just like The Matrix making a fourth film. Cash grab, you guys. Taken Part 3, cash grab. You know what I'm saying? If we can't call out a cash grab, man, we might as well not even be doing this, man. Yo, what up? Ak Barrel. Yes, sir. Hope I said that right. If not, my apologies. $1 super chat, whatever that is. Candy Shop was more. Well, Mark, Olivia really wasn't on that all that much. You know, when it came to performing, you know, when it came to performing, you know, when it actually came to performing, you guys, 50 probably got to the point at a certain time where he didn't even need Olivia to come and travel. Legendary says Candy Shop was huge, but the song is corny as hell. Okay, here's another example of how I'm not a G Unit hater. Let's be real. I was with Scott Storch. Listen to this one. Put this one on World Star. Send this one to 50 Cent. I was with Scott Storch. I had Storch's ear. You know what I'm saying? I had Storch's ear, you guys. Storch was rocking with me. He was respecting me. I told Storch, Candy Shop is one of the most corny records of 50 Cent's career. It literally, in my opinion, kind of messed up his career to a certain extent to make people think a certain way about him. It was a little bit early for 50 to be releasing Candy Shop. I would have much rather 50's second album feature Hate It or Love It, just from a pure fan perspective. You know what I mean? And I was speaking a little bit earlier about how 50 Cent referenced witnessing his mother kiss a girl on Hate It or Love It, which is why I kind of believe that 50 might have had that song originally for his album. Just my perspective as a fan. You know what I'm saying? Rob Rachel says Magic Stick over Amusement Park. Candy Shop is definitely better than Amusement Park. Amusement Park just didn't really hit on all the same cylinders, man. And it was kind of a repeat. Yeah, they put the Hate It or Love It remix with all the guys, Ye, Banks, and Buck on there on the Massacre album. But honestly, man, I would have liked to have seen 50 Cent actually, you know, I would have actually liked to have seen 50 Cent have a little bit more of a serious, you know. Loke Blue, keeping it real, says Candy Shop was huge. You cannot deny that. That is absolutely undeniable, man. 1.1 million in a short week, pushed the album to 5 million plus in sales in a short span of time. You can't argue that. You cannot argue that. But yeah, what I was saying is when I got the opportunity to link with Scott Storch, I wasn't filming Scott Storch being like, yo, Candy Shop was whack. It ruined 50 Cent's career. That was something I said to Storch in private. You know what I mean? That was something I said to Storch in private. I wasn't trying to blog that out to the world, take advantage of all that. I could have easily did that. I could have easily filmed Scott Storch and said, hey, Storch, how do you feel about ruining 50 Cent's career with Candy Shop? Put it out. World Star would have posted it. All the blog. Mikey T's the craziest blogger. Like when, you know what I'm saying? Mikey T's the craziest blogger. But in all actuality, I'm really not the craziest blogger. In all actuality, I'm not like these other bloggers. All these other bloggers, they just talk about it. I be about it. They just watch it. I'm there, invested in it. I've been around with the artist. I've interviewed 22Gs. I've interviewed Cash Out, Young Dolph, Yo Gotti, Rick Ross, Kid, Lil Wayne. I've met Harv Pierre, Puff Daddy. I've interviewed Freeway. I've interviewed the who's who of the community, you guys. A lot of these other guys that are blogging, that are talking, they haven't even done that. I've been around the block. Now I'm going to chill right here and I'm going to set up shop. You dig what I'm saying? I done made my trips. And believe me, a lot of them joints with some good flips. You know what I'm saying? I made some good ass flips. But now I'm going to sit here and I'm going to talk my shit. Hell yeah, bro. Much love to everybody here in New England. Shout out to Millie's, Blanco 5, doing big things on the iTunes charts. Salute 1090 Jake. I've been seeing him making a lot of moves as well. Definitely would like to tap in with these guys. Cash Out XO. Any of those guys are welcome on my channel, man. Like I said, you are welcome on the channel as long as you have a positive story to share. You are welcome on the channel as long as you're not just coming up here to, talk some bullshit. You know what I mean? No. Yayo in the past has said Mikey T does good interviews, but then he said I asked dumb questions, which didn't really make sense to me. It's like, how does somebody do good interviews but ask dumb questions? It doesn't make any sense. I kind of feel like if I had the chance to interview Tony Yayo, a couple great interviews with Tony Yayo, though, Doggy Diamonds and Vlad TV. I got to give them their credit. You know what I mean? And Yayo's actually been messing with those guys since back in the day. He did the Doggy interview a while ago. He did interviews with Vlad back in the day too, actually speaking on a whole lot of different shit. Oh, wow. Let me read this. Legendary says, I agree with you, Mikey T. Candy Shop was way too early in his career. He should have been making songs like that maybe on his 4th album or something. Candy Shop did definitely hurt his career low key. Just an opinion I have, and it doesn't mean that I'm a 50 Cent hater. You know what I mean? I probably could sit here. We could sit here and talk about the massacre in many different ways for at least a couple hours and have a great conversation doing it. You know what I'm saying? And so how the word hate gets thrown in just because I do a couple interviews with Bang'em Smurf, shit. I think even in a lot of the interviews with Domination, he wasn't even dissing 50 like that. And like I said, with Dice wouldn't diss G Unit, even though we could have made mad videos shutting down Maserati Fox. You know, when Maserati Fox, rest in peace, I'll say it, rest in peace, Maserati Fox. They had reached out to me and wanted to do some work, man. We never got it done. You know what I'm saying? We didn't get it done, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? But if we were in our bag like that, just trying to diss G Unit all the way, Dice would have had videos up saying that Maserati Fox wasn't going to Miami to tour and all that type of shit. So, in all honesty, we weren't all just about dissing G Unit back in the day. Dice wouldn't even do that. He felt like dissing them wouldn't have added to his MMG career. That's just how he felt. A lot of people thought he was bugging for that. And that's a story that he could tell on his own. You know, when I have him, I'll have him on the shit to tell that story. Why didn't you go all the way in on G Unit? But yo, it's like what? Just because I can't have him on to ask those questions? You know what I'm saying? You can't like who said this in an interview recently? Somebody said some shit. They were like, Milk said it. Milk actually came on the show and said it about Adam 22. He's like, what? Just because I interviewed you, or just because you gave me an interview, just because you gave me an interview, that means I gotta ride you the whole time and you know, like not say you're doing anything wrong. You know what I mean? That if I don't agree with something, that's not the way to live, you guys. You can't be like that. Nobody's going to see what your personality is if that's the case. Nobody's going to see what your personality is if that's the case, man. You're just going to be like one of those guys standing in the background. Bro, I don't know what you're talking about, but you really haven't even seen Bang'em Smurf on my channel in a few years. So, like, just because you're tapping in today, just because you're legitimately tapping in today, right here, right now, you're like, where have you been for the last 2 years? You know what I mean? Where have you been for the last whatever, how many years I haven't been, you know what I mean? And this isn't just because I'm not working with Smurf right now. You know what I'm saying? This isn't because of that. This is just truth and honesty. You know what I mean? When the question gets brought up of, oh, Mikey T, why would you work with this person and then work with that person? Because we don't make any judgments when it comes to this type of shit. You know how many people out there diss rappers? All you think? So I've interviewed Gilly the Kid. Gilly's my favorite interview, right? Gilly's my favorite interview by far. So you're telling me just because I interviewed Gilly the Kid, I wasn't going to interview Lil Wayne? And let's look at it vice versa, right? So I go and I do an interview with Lil Wayne, right? I go and I do an interview with Lil Wayne. Gilly still does an interview with me. So come on, it works vice versa, man. You can't be so judgmental just because of who people are working with. But you know, a lot of people are saying, yo, Mikey T, you need to clear the air with G Unit because a lot of the G Unit guys are thinking you're just hating on them. When in reality, I bought a lot of the G Unit guys' albums. When in reality, I reached out to interview a lot of the G Unit guys. Am I going to harp on that because of the fact that they're busy? Absolutely not. These guys were out there making all types of bread. These guys were out there making all types of bread. I'm talking about interviewing Gilly back in 2013. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're right about that. Two different men, two different mind states. Some people are like, yo, you think, like, that's why I was saying a little bit earlier. If you do have a close relationship with Lil Wayne, you can't be double dipping. Pause. You can't be working with his ops. If you have a relationship like that to the point where you're with Lil Wayne every day of the week and you're making mad bread, you would look absolutely crazy showing up in Young Thug's videos, knowing the relationship that Young Thug and Lil Wayne have, you guys. Let's call a fact a fact. You know what I mean? Let's call a fact a fact. I do interviews. I got an opportunity to go to Trinidad and interview Smurf. I got an opportunity to go to Trinidad and interview Domination and Fredro Starr. I was almost going to go to Belize. I was almost going to go to Belize. Newsflash. I got an offer to go to Spain to interview 6ix9ine before he snitched. I've gotten a lot of opportunities like this, you guys. I've gotten a whole lot of opportunities like this. Jay Hood invited me to Virginia to shoot some vlogs for him. You know, I'm not the type of dude, although I don't make every opportunity, I'm not the type of dude to miss out. I'm not the type of dude to miss out on an opportunity, you guys. I actually turned down the interview with 6ix9ine when I had the chance to go to Spain and interview 6ix9ine, even though that would have cost me like $1,000, you know what I mean? Like $1,500, $2,000, something like that. It would have cost me some bread. But my dude was out there actually booking him and shit like that before he snitched. So yeah, I didn't take that opportunity. It would have been cool, you know what I mean? Maybe it would have done something major for my channel, you know what I mean? But That's one I missed out on, you guys. Now, the Belize trip, when I actually interviewed Shine, he wasn't in Belize at that time, I don't think. I think he was still, he may have been in Europe when I had interviewed him. So it wasn't just flying out to the island like I did in Trinidad. I actually would have had to fly out to Europe or something like that. You know what I mean? I actually would have had to fly out to Europe. But at that point in time, I believe let me see. Had I just interviewed Max B over the phone at that time? I was okay with doing phone interviews with celebrities that were worth it. You know, I would get a lot of offers to do interviews with people over the phone, but I wouldn't really want to do them. You know what I mean? No, I don't really want to do an interview over the phone. I got to go. I got to be able to go to your environment. I got to go to be able to check you. I got it. That's what I did back in the day. I would literally go to whatever hood. Even when I was in Miami, I was pulling up to people's hoods. I remember we pulled up into the Pork and Beans one time. That shit was crazy. Appreciate y'all for checking out that Milk interview as well, man. I met Uncle Murda back in the day. Yeah, I flicked up with Uncle Murda back in the day. Uncle Murda's never really been one for interviews. We had a chance like I said, I'm going to start doing a lot more videos where I tell y'all what's going on in my life. I'm going to start doing a lot more videos where I tell y'all about situations that I'm going through in the industry, what I've been through, when I got ran down on, when dudes held me up on camera, when I made songs with artists on albums, when I actually brought songs to the club, when I actually did interviews with Lil Wayne, all these big shits, man, all the big stories in my career. I'm going to come on here and tell y'all, man. Hell yeah, that's right. Death Row's back, baby. Snoop, I'm waiting for my chain, baby. Let's do it. Death Row 2022 and forever. Let's go. I got 50 years. I got 50 years for this hip hop shit, you guys. I'm not going anywhere for 50 years. You're stuck with me. You're stuck with me for a half a century, man. And I got it for hip hop, man. Soulja Boy went off. Soulja Boy went off. Little Reese got locked up in Texas. Little Reese got locked up in Texas, you guys. What's homie doing in Texas? What's homie doing in Texas? I thought you was in Chicago. Get into it. Makes sense that he's in Texas. That's a good look, man. That's a good look, man. I was really saying to myself, man, I hope Reese isn't just trying to put up that. Reese is too legendary to us. It's bullshit seeing what's happened to a lot of Chief Keef's original Glory Boys, man. My heart goes out to all those dudes. So that's why it's good to hear, you know, Chief Keef moved. Chief Keef moved. Lil Durk is gone. You know, he could be anywhere he wants. You know, Chief Keef is in Cali. So I didn't really know where Reese was, man. And an arrest in Texas shows me that he's at least out there to a certain extent. I wouldn't have expected that, though. Texas, huh? But then again, I really haven't read so much into the story just because of what it's about. I'm not that guy, y'all. I'm not that guy. I don't really be liking to, I'm not really that love and hip hop guy. Maybe when you know what I'm saying? Maybe when I get a deal on love and hip hop, it'll be another story. And we can start pillow talking and all that type of shit on the show. Y'all will be seeing me sitting up in front of the screen. I don't know what little Scrappy was thinking, bringing his wifey around my wife like that, man. I mean, my girl was always really a big fan of Bambi and shit like that. But Scrap. No, you'll have to wait and see if that ever happens. You'll have to wait and see if that ever happens. I'll be on Love and Hip Hop talking some weird shit. You know what I mean? Like Stevie J was back in the day and shit. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. I think if Gilly, and you know, I actually spoke with Smurf about interviewing Kid, interviewing 40 Glock. He didn't care. He did not care. Do you think Smurf would have had an issue with me interviewing 50 Cent? Let me ask you this, guys. Let me ask you. I don't even care. Do you think I wouldn't have interviewed 50 Cent over what Smurf was saying? Unless we was locked in a contract for $3-4 million, I'm not turning down no opportunity like that. Now I see one thing, say the MMG deal worked out, we're locked in the whole thing. I would make our label look crazy interviewing 50 Cent. Smurf at this point in time, he would never have had an issue with me interviewing 50. And you can't tell somebody, you cannot tell somebody, you guys, you cannot tell somebody who you do not have legitimate paperwork with, or not even that. You cannot tell somebody how to really direct their career like that. Like, don't do that to me, man. Don't tell me what I'm going to interview, who I'm going to interview, unless you're the one flying me out, putting me in the joint. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're the. I remember I was doing a couple interviews for a couple different magazine type roles, and they sent me out to go and interview the dude from No Hands. What's his name from No Hands with Waka Flocka? What was that kid's name? I went and interviewed the dude from No Hands. I went into Circle House for my first time based on Hip Hop Weekly magazine. Actually, they sent me there to interview Rico Love. A couple situations like that. You know what I mean? Don't be trying to dictate my career unless you're actually putting plays on the table. You know what I'm saying? And Smurf respected the hell out of that because he knew we were trying to get to the bag, man. He knew we were trying to get to the bag. You know, just like he's operating his career as Bangum Smurf, I'm operating my career as Mikey T, the movie star. So I'll be damned if you're going to try and tell me. So I'll be damned if you're going to try to tell me I can't interview 40 Glock. Yeah, Roscoe Dash, cool ass dude. He was smoking one of the biggest joints. We were smoking it in the hotel too. He was at a great point of his career. But yeah, you know, like when I interviewed 40 Glock, what do you guys think? It wasn't on World Star? It was on World Star 6 times. Mikey T talking to 40 Glock. He was known as that dude in G Unit at that point. Not like that rapping dude, but he was known as that dude. He was getting magazine covers and all types of shit based on his beef with the game. Would I like to interview the game? Yes. Yeah, I would like to interview the game. Is it going to stop me from interviewing 40 Glock? Yeah, I would like to interview Tyga. Is it going to stop me from interviewing? No, you take the opportunities that you get at that point in time. Anybody who turns down an opportunity. But also, I don't go out there looking to cause controversy. I don't do that. Like I said, I could have spoke with Scott Storch about making a corny love song with 50 Cent. I don't do that. I could have asked Fredro Starr about beef with 50 Cent. We didn't do that in the interview that we had, man. Of course, me and Smurf were talking about 50. This is like the 30th interview I done with Smurf. We're absolutely comfortable with each other. Actually, no, that was the second time. That was the second time I went to Trinidad. First time, let me think. First time we went to Trinidad, we're in one of the hoods. And Smurf was gathered around a bunch of people. I didn't know about Suge Knight running up on the In the Club video shoot. I didn't know about that to even ask the question. Yeah, now we're getting down and deep into this. Smurf was surrounded by multiple people, and he started telling the story of what happened. So the narrative, okay. So I asked Smurf about getting cut in jail. I asked him about it. 50 Cent wasn't in my question. Wow. So now we're starting to flip the narrative here, you guys. Now we're starting to flip the narrative. because I'm fogged up. You know what I mean? My mind's fogged up. I'm Rockstar Cloud '09. You know what I'm saying? I'm living my life. I ain't going to start singing out like Hassan. Hassan at this point would start singing out that I'm living my life like, you know what I'm saying? He would start singing that right now. I'm not going to do that. But I was just living my life. Salute to Trini. Much love to Trini. I loved it out there. I actually went out there. We went out to the Club Zen. Is Club Zen still popping out there? We went out to Club Zen. Yeah, this shit's getting interesting because everybody wants to put it on me as if I'm the one that was always asking Smurf about G Unit. And I'm bringing up those first two interviews. I'm bringing up those first two interviews, and Smurf actually said that shit. I didn't know about the Suge Knight situation where 50 was, you know what I mean, filming in the club that everybody is talking about right now. I didn't know about that situation. Smurf brought that situation up, you guys. So, wow, I'm actually glad I made it to this point of realization because, you know, I put it all in a cloud. I put it all in I bunched it all together because I've been told about this deal that we were going to be working on with MMG. Oh, the MMG deal. Let's go talk to Rick Ross, Smurf. Rick Ross is right in the next room. We're going to save that for another video. I'm getting too spazzed out on that situation. Anybody wants to hear the Rick Ross situation deal, send in a $50 super chat right now. Or we'll save it for the next episode. If I got to continue with this shit. But honestly, we are. We are going to continue with this shit because I'm telling my truth. I'm telling my truth. A lot of people out there got it twisted. My bad about that, you guys. Whoa, I was just trying to block this user, man. He just said some really crazy shit in the chat. What's up? You gotta relax. Club Zen is popping. Hell yeah, I was up in Club Zen. We actually, when we was in Club Zen, I was there with Smurf, Damo, Fredro Starr. It was 2009. And Fredro Starr was getting all the love because, 10 years earlier, he was actually in Save the Last Dance. So he was like mad popular. You know what I'm saying? He was mad popular. So they actually brought us out Belvedere, a big-ass bottle of Belvedere, and then 3 bottles of Hennessy. And this is what I loved. Y'all are going to know that I love this shit. They brought out no. I can't even count it like that. They brought out a pyramid. They brought out a pyramid of Red Bulls. They brought out a pyramid of Red Bulls, you guys. Fredro Starr grabbed me. He's like, yo, Mikey T, this is when we stop filming tonight and when we have fun. I'm like, yo, that's what's up. Let's party, Dro. I'm like, let's party, Dro. So me and Fredro started partying. Fredro Starr's story about you in Trinidad was funny as hell. Yeah, man. Fredro Starr told me that everybody was crying when they thought I was lost. What up, Belicio? Appreciate you for tapping in, bro. He said that everybody was crying when they thought I was lost. You know what I mean? Smurf thought he was going back to jail. It showed me how concerned he was, man. Smurf always showed a lot of love to me and shit like that. You know what I mean? And everybody there was just thinking I was done for, you guys. And truth be told, I would have been done for. Truth be told, Stay Fly, I would have been done for. Tell me, Stay Fly, has things changed in Trinidad? Because this was 2009. This guy told me, he said, yo, I found you. You were under my car, Mikey. You were under my car, he said. He didn't say my name or anything because I woke up in his crib, didn't know what the hell was going on. Then there were bars on the front door. I thought I was locked in there. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? This is like some Texas Chainsaw Massacre shit. They got me in here, man. I'm kidnapped. They got me, yo. They got me. So no, I was chilling. So I go upstairs, right? And then there's this woman upstairs washing the dishes, singing. And I'm like, yo, this is like a classic ransom story. There ain't nobody in the house that speaks English. You know what I'm saying? I can't talk to nobody. I'm just trapped in here. So I go back downstairs and some guy comes in and, yo, stay fly. Tell me this. But the guy tells me, he's like, you are lucky that you were under my car. My house is the only house on this block that has surveillance in front of it. Everybody knows that my house has surveillance in front of it, he said. If you would have been under any other car in on this street, you would have been done for. And so, stay fly. Is that true, or do more people now in Trini have surveillance? Because this was over 10 years ago. So the only reason, you guys, I was under that car is it was a baby blue. It was a baby blue car. And Smurf's, one of Smurf's friends had a baby blue BMW, 4-door. It was more like a bigger car. And I must have remembered that and went there. That's how a lot had surveillance now. Yeah, I got lucky. How did I end up under the car? I must have noticed, because listen, this is what we did. We stayed up one night. Smurf was like, all right, we're staying up all night and we're going to do radio in the morning. Smurf is like, we're going to stay at the club because we planned on staying at the club till like 5 a.m. in the morning anyways. So we're staying at the club till 5 a.m. or whenever it closes, and then we have radio at 8 a.m. After we got out the club, we were literally going through the streets talking with mad people. I was filming mad shit, and we were out there for like an extra hour. So then we go back to the whip, which is like a blue whip, and I'm sitting in the back with my boy Newport Nick, and we pass out for a little bit. And then they must have all walked to the radio. My boy Nick wakes me up like, yo, you got to go film at the radio. I get out the whip. I must be groggy as hell, and I just pass out. We had drank so much alcohol the night before. Yeah, exactly. White boy wasted, like Gucci Man said. And I must have thought I seen the car that we were in, and I must have just went. And I probably wasn't under the car. I was probably just like by the tire. But get this, another part of the story. The guy tells me that around 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, when he had first spotted me, he came he came over to help me up, and he touched my camera. And apparently I was like clutching the camera. Because as I said, I bought this new camera to go out there and film. So then he tells me that he had me in the whip. We were driving, and I told him the wrong hotel. I told him the Marriott Hotel, stay fly. So he drove me up to the Marriott that's all the way up on the hill. And we were actually at the Hyatt that was all the way over on the other side of town. So he told me we got to the Marriott and I wouldn't get out or something. So he just brought me back to his crib. I wake up in the morning. I'm like, yo, I'm like, yo, what happened? Why am I not waking up in a luxury hotel? Like, why am I not at a luxury hotel? Like, this was like one of the best spots I'd ever been at before. So I'm looking around. I'm like, what the hell did I do last night, yo? Did I violate or something? Did I barf on Fredro Starr or something? Like, what the hell did I do? Did I puke on Fredro or something? Like, oh my God, what did I do? I violated. So then that thought left my mind. I'm like, oh, Smurfs. So guys, get this. I said, Smurf sent me back to the hood. I'm like, Bangum Smurf literally 50 cented me. He sent me back to the hood. I'm like, yo. I'm like, Smurf sent me back to the hood, yo. But no, so I get up. Yo, Blaze, I was dancing with all kinds of chicks out there. It was crazy out there the way that couples interact. Because at the end of the night, we went to multiple nightclubs. At the end of the night, you would literally see guys going into the clubs and dragging their girlfriends out that had been there partying all night. It was wild. One time out there, I was with this dude named Stinky Lincoln, they would call him. I was dancing with his girl. We was at the Ambassador Hotel. Is that what it is? Stay Fly? The Ambassador or something, where Smurf was actually having his label launch. And so Smurf came and grabbed me. He was like, yo, you're dancing with Stinky Lincoln's girl. You are wildin', Mikey T. So I was like, oh shit, my bad. So anyways, I wake up at the dude's spot And I'm like, yo, did Smurf send me back to the hood or something? Like, what the hell happened? Why am I in the hood? So I go out and look at the door, and then I notice I can't leave. I notice I can't leave. I can't leave, you guys. The door has bars on it. I go over to the window. The window has bars on it. I'm like, yo, what the hell is going on? I can't get out of here even because I wanted to go outside and stretch my feet. You know what I mean? I'm that type of dude. I wanted to go outside. Yo, what's good? I got sent back to the hood. All right, it is what it is. So I go back inside, and then I go upstairs, and I see this woman. She's whistling, she's singing, and I'm like, so oh no, I missed the part of the story. So I'm passed out. I'm waking up, and this woman passes me, and she's like, drink that water. I'm like, drink that? What is it? She's like, drink that water. She's like, it's coconut water. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I like get up, and then I have all those thoughts about did Smurf send me back to the hood? So then she had just said a little bit to me. You know what I'm saying? She had just said a tiny bit to me. So now I'm seeing I can't get outside and all that. I'm feeling like I got sent back to the hood. Now I couldn't get outside. Now I go upstairs. This woman's singing in another language. I ask her a question. She literally can't answer me, you guys. I legitimately thought I was done for a second. I was like, yo, someone is holding me up right now. It's a wrap for me. It is a wrap. Thank God it wasn't. It was a very nice man. He said he was a lawyer. Y'all. Whew. But yeah, man, I just wanted to come on here today and clear the air with all the G Unit bullshit, man. Just because I'm a guy that's interviewed Bangum Smurf and Domination, it doesn't mean I'm ever going to not interview. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean I'm not ever going to interview people from G Unit. It doesn't mean I'm not going to interview Frenchie. You know, that's another one that I guess they all had an issue with. You know, Frenchie and that's somebody that I actually interviewed at very early in the career. Rest in peace, Maybach Bills. Him and G Baby were apparently going through it. Dice and Bills, great friends. Bills is a cool dude. I interviewed him once. Doesn't mean I'm not going to not interview G Baby, you guys. Doesn't make absolutely any sense. I interviewed Max B. Doesn't mean I'm not going to interview Jim Jones. That's not how I'm doing my career, you guys. I'm not just the situation never presented itself where I got a $5 million deal to work for one label. It's not, you know what I'm saying? So that's where we are at with it, you guys. I just wanted to put it out there. You know, you see me doing an interview with Trigak. You see me do an interview with Kid. You see me do an interview with, you know what I mean? With anybody, really. Like, I'm not going to not interview people. You know, Slow Bucks, I've asked him to be on the channel multiple times. You know what I'm saying? I've asked him to be on the channel multiple times. Do I agree with what people say on my channel all the times? No, not necessarily. I don't agree 100% of the time. Am I going to censor their conversation? Absolutely not. Or else what am I doing here? What am I doing here if I'm going to censor what the people within the hip hop community got to say? If I'm going to do that, then now guys, if somebody is long-winded on an answer, I'm going to get to the next part of the interview. But I'm not going to blatantly censor anybody. Now, listen, anybody on here that has not followed me, I want you guys to follow me right now. I'm going to be dropping an interview tonight with Cuban Link where he speaks on almost having beef with Raekwon over the album, over the titles, only built for Cuban Links. He speaks on a lot more as well, growing up with Big Pun, growing up in general. So I want you guys to check that out. We're going to drop that later tonight. But I wanted to come on here today and just address all these issues with 50, G Unit, all these issues of people thinking I'm hating on Yayo and Banks. We'll be talking about it on a lot more because I didn't really get through all the album history. So you're going to be seeing a lot more conversations. I might even talk about some of their new shit. G Unit's on tour right now. 50's out there with Yayo and Uncle Murda. I might talk about that tomorrow or Saturday. I'll be back on live. We're going to be talking about all this shit, though, you guys. Make sure you follow me on the gram. And also, everybody on here that follows me on the gram, that also follows Bella K. If you follow Bella K, her Instagram is pinned right now. If you follow Bella K and you send me a DM with proof, I will follow you back. That's what you got to do to get the follow back. Follow Bella K. I'll follow y'all back. Yep. We're about to do it all on YouTube, bro. About to do it all on YouTube. About to do it all on YouTube. I'll see y'all in the next episode, man. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Mikey T, the Movie Star podcast. Peace.